Welcome to the Oval here at Great Chief Park, nestled alongside the Red Deer River, just a short jaunt away from downtown Red Deer, the home of the 2019 Canada Winter Games. My name is Sean Woodley, here to bring you all the action from today's women's and men's mass start races here in long track. It's been a record-breaking day here at Great Chief Park, and it's been all about the Manitobans. Alexa Scott of Chattaboy, Manitoba, won the women's 1,000 this morning with a Canada Winter Games record time, while Winnipeg's Tyson Landelar set his own Canada Games record in the 1,000 for his third gold medal here in Red Deer. But that's in the past, and the women's 4,000-meter mass start race is in our immediate future. Mass start is a wild one, 26 skaters, all of whom will begin this 10-lap race together. But it's not as simple as just starting and finishing. Ultimately, the medal winners will be the first three skaters across the line. But on laps 4 and 6, the intermediate sprint laps, points are available to the fastest skaters across the line in those laps, 30, 20, 10, or 4 points to be exact. For the first four finishers in those laps, those points will go a long way towards determining the final standings. The weather for today's outdoor race is kind of all right. -4 now, feels like -10 with the 17-kilometer-hour northwesterly wind blowing. Some chance of some light snow, but we've seen a clear day most of the day, so we should be in some luck here. Now for the start list for the women's 4,000-meter mass start. In row 1 from Alberta, wearing helmet 102, Brooklyn McDougall. She won silver earlier on in the 1,000. Roseanne Grenier of Quebec is also in row 1 wearing helmet 124. In 121, Emmanuel Cote. 122, Veronique Derry, the bronze medalist earlier on in the 1,000. Rose La Liberté Wa, 123 is her helmet number. She's also in row 1. And rounding out row 1 is BC's Amanda Mitchell in helmet 108. You see her right there at the front. In row 2, 101, Anna Borges of Alberta. Also next to her, 111, Ashley Hanna of Manitoba. 103, Kayla McNeely of Alberta. 120, Lily Weideman of Ontario. And 106, Laura Hall of BC. Also 109, Chloe Bouchen of Manitoba in row 2. Row 3 has Mila Rybin, a 15-year-old who had a great run earlier on in the 1,000. She's in row 3 from Saskatchewan. Kennedy Charles from Manitoba is in helmet 110. Brooke Braun is in helmet 105 from BC. 118 is Rachel Freitag of Ontario. 126 is Annika Marshall of Saskatchewan, and next to her, also from Saskatchewan, Callie Ann Friesen in helmet number 125. In row 4, we have helmet 107, Una Lavelle of BC. Helmet 115, Lila Karche of New Brunswick. Four New Brunswick athletes in this row. We got 115, Lila Karche, 113, Emma LeBlanc, 114, Grayson Miller, and 116, Lucy Wolf, all teammates from New Brunswick. Also, 127, Emery Paulette from Saskatchewan is in row 4. And then rounding out row 5, 117, Alexa Annika of Ontario, and your gold medal winner from earlier on today in the 1,000, Alexa Scott of Manitoba in helmet number 112. Annika is in 117. So we're about to get this thing going here. Again, 10 laps, 4,000 meters, intermediate sprint laps on laps numbers 4 and 6, where 30, 20, 10, and 4 points are available for the standing. Again, the podium will be determined by whoever comes first. Here we see coming up to the line, Brooklyn McDougall there in 102. Next to Roseanne Grenier of Quebec. Her teammate, Emmanuel Cote, in 121 coming up there. Sidling on up to the line. Another Quebec athlete coming up there to join the front line is 123, Rose La Liberté Wa. See the camaraderie here. They're all in this together. It's really cold out there for these skaters. It's nice for me to be calling this from a warm, heated studio away from the grounds. Here is number 108. That's Amanda Mitchell of BC. That is the end of the first row of competitors. This is a long race, 4,000 meters, 10 laps. Pacing is going to be necessary. Hopefully they can avoid cramping up in the cold. Coming up there into row 2, we see number 111, Ashley Hanna of Manitoba, next to 101, Anna Borges of Alberta. And they all seem to be commiserating about the cold together. They are all in this together. 103, Kayla McNeely right there. Next to her is Ontario's Lily Weideman, whose older sister Isabel Weideman competed in the Olympics in Pyeongchang for Canada last year. Next to Lily Weideman is Laura Hall, 106 in that BC uniform. Thankfully, these uniforms are nice and different looking, so I won't get too confused while I try to bring you the action. All the New Brunswick and Ontario uniforms. Going to have a word with those designers. Here we have a Saskatchewan and a Manitoba athlete coming up to the line. Mila Rybin, she had a great performance earlier on, was for a long time holding the gold medal position until the heavy hitter skaters came along later in the heats. But Mila Rybin, 15-year-old, one to watch here. Next to her is 110 Kennedy Charles from Manitoba. 105 is Brooke Braun of BC. And Rachel Freitag of Ontario, 118. Next to them as well, a pair of Saskatchewan athletes, Annika Marshall in 126, Callie-Ann Friesen in 125. We're like Callie-Ann freezing out there right now. In row 4, 107, Una Lavelle. 115, Lila Cartier. 113, Emma LeBlanc. 114, Grayson Miller. 116, Lucy Wolf. And they are off in the 10-lap, 4,000-meter mass start race. There are no lanes that anyone has to take. It's just find a place to slide in, and hopefully you don't run into anybody. And you're seeing a pretty slow, meandering pace to begin. Understandable considering all the ground these skaters have to cover. We will see them sprint pretty extensively in laps 4 and 6 to try to pick up those extra sprint points. That's Brooklyn McDougall at the front. Gold medal in the 1500 and 500 over the weekend. Silver medal today fell in the same heat as the gold medalist Alexa Scott, who set a Canada Winter Games record with her time in the 1000. McDougall still leading out, followed there by Rosanne Grenier of Quebec, another Quebec athlete in there as well. Still quite bunched up. I'm sure we'll see some sort of change in the order. It'll become a little bit more spread out as the race goes along. There seems to be some conversation going on there between one of the Alberta athletes. McDougall still acting as the bunny car for this 4,000-meter, 10-lap race. As they come around the turn to finish up the second lap here. Still a pretty slow pace. No major moves made by anybody just yet. Although we see, there we go. That is skater number 107. That's Una Lavelle of BC making a break for it. And Una Lavelle is opening up a wide gap. We'll see if she made her move a little too early. You never know with these early breakouts. Sometimes maybe she just found a gear no one else can find, but other times you'll see that perhaps they made their move a little too early and can't hang on. But the lead she's opening up now, Una Lavelle of British Columbia, it is a pretty wide one. Una Lavelle earlier today skated the 1,000 in a time of 1:34.64. She's 17 years old from Fort St. John, BC, the Elks Speedskating Club under coach Richard Stickle. She's also a volleyball player, named the MVP of her high school team. 20th in the 1500, 4th in the 500. So this is a very, very different distance for Una Lavelle than the one she nearly medaled in over the weekend. And her lead is pretty substantial, nearly half the track between her and the rest of the pack here. Leading a second chase group, it looks like from Manitoba, that is Chloe Bouchain, alongside Callie-Ann Friesen of Saskatchewan, leading that chase down group to try to catch Lavelle. And you see Lavelle right now kind of slowing up a little bit. That other group is gaining. Doesn't even look like they're putting that much effort into trying to catch up. I think they kind of know Lavelle made her move a little too soon, but we will see. Still working her way around there. And Lavelle coming towards potentially being caught here. A group of athletes very much on her tail. She's hearing the footsteps, I'm sure. She's probably going to lose the lead by the time they are all out of this turn. It looks like an athlete from Quebec, number 124. That is Rosanne Grenier, who started in the first row. She has now taken the lead in the race. Una Lavelle, you can see her off to the right there, kind of listing a little bit, may have expended a little too much energy. Grenier is followed by Veronique Derry, the bronze medalist earlier today in the 1,000 meters. 108 behind them in third right now is Amanda Mitchell of BC. So there's an Ontario skater in there as well. That's Lily Weideman in fourth. We'll see if there's another chase group out there. We're seeing a New Brunswick athlete already about to be passed by the group here. And it looks like Emmanuel Cote is now taking over a small lead, although here's 106. That's Laura Hall making a bit of a break for it. She's out in front there. 103 is Kayla McNeely of Alberta just behind her. Still pretty bunched up at the top here, kind of swapping. A little bit of drafting going on, save a little energy, get behind the wind resistance being cut through by the leaders. And they seem to be kind of swapping roles there. We see a couple skaters there kind of lagging behind. This might get a little tricky to kind of keep tabs on who is in front here, but there seems to be some laughing going on at the front there. Helmet number 101 is Anna Borges of Alberta. She is leading now. Got that smile. We know a bit of a fall in the back there. Looked like an Alberta athlete, perhaps maybe a Quebec athlete. Someone in blue. And another fall there. It looks like your leader remains Anna Borges of Alberta, but still a lot of race left to go. And still up at the front of that main pack. It looks like an Manitoba athlete is making a break for the lead now. Trying to get a read on that number. I see Rose La Liberté Wa also in there. 111 is Ashley Hanna of Manitoba. She had a good run this morning in the 1,000. And we're seeing a couple breaks for it. That looks like, from Manitoba, Alexa Scott, the gold medalist earlier on today, is making a break for it. She's now out in the lead. Alexa Scott looking for a second gold medal today. She's trailed by Rosanne Grenier of Quebec, who's been near the top of that group pretty much the entirety of the race. It looks like Alexa Scott thinks she can take this. We'll see if she can hold up with the stamina. It looks like, and she's passed. She's passed the finish line. It looks like Alexa Scott unofficially has won the women's 4,000 meter mass start race. Alexa Scott, after setting a Canada Games record this morning in the 1,000 meters, looks to have taken first place. There we have some sprint points on the board there picked up. Waiting for official word on the ground as to who has won the race. After all of the, we don't really have that information quickly accessible to us here in the studio. So waiting for some updates from the ground from our sports information officer, Will Dutton, who's been an invaluable member of the team today. There we see Chloe Bouchain. Alexa Scott, though, it looks as though Alexa Scott has picked up her second gold medal today. She did not compete in the 1,500 or 500 to begin the week. She just returned from the World Junior Championships. She took part in those. In Italy. But Alexa Scott, those fresh legs coming through, I suppose. 2 gold medals today for Manitoba. Manitoba still has every gold medal on long track today. Alexa Scott with 2. Tyson Landelar coming up shortly in the mass start as well. He won gold in the men's 1,000. Still waiting for you see the volunteers there conferring. See who has the proper times. This is a very confusing race when you have everyone kind of all, mixed around, people being lapped, falls happening. It's very confusing, not just for us in the studio here, but everyone down there trying to, compare notes. Is anyone disqualified for throwing a punch or something like that? We will see. But we do know Alexa Scott has won the gold. It seems as though Roseanne Grenier has won the silver, and it still is up in the air as to who has won the bronze. As they compare notes, compare times. Seems as though Kayla McNeely and Laura Hall of Alberta and BC respectively picked up some points in the sprints. Still waiting for official word on all of the medals here in the mass start. Still waiting to hear some official results. Alexa Scott, by the way, just 17 years old. It is now a double gold medalist at the Canada Winter Games from Clandeboye, Manitoba, the Interlake Speed Skating Club, coached by Tyler Williamson-Dara. She had herself a goal of winning a medal in here in Red Deer, and it looks as though she has won a pair of the gold variety. Just returned from the Junior World Championships, as I mentioned, in Italy, part of a fifth-place relay effort for Canada over there. A pair of top 10 finishes individually, so she is definitely one to be reckoned with, and at just 17 years old. I don't know, 22 Beijing is not far off. Alexa Scott seems like a name you might be hearing down the road. Once again, she did not compete in the 500 or 1500. It seems as though your silver medalist is Roseanne Grenier, 19 years old from Saint-Marie, Quebec, coach Munsef Ouardi, second in the 3,000 meters at the 2018 Oval Invitational, silver in the 1,500 meters here in Red Deer, 11th in the 500. She's more of a long-distance specialist. As we wait for these official results to come in, after all of the sprint points are counted, a reminder that the men's mass start race will begin in 15 minutes with Tyson Langelar, a three-time gold medalist here for Manitoba, looking to get his fourth gold medal, and he did win the 2015 mass start event at Prince George at those Canada Games. So he is the preeminent favorite going into this one. A great day for Manitoba here at Great Chief Park in Red Deer. Still waiting for some official results. It looks as though there's a Quebec athlete in third place. If I'm looking at the scoreboard correctly, I think that's Emmanuel Cote is going to go home with the bronze medal. Emmanuel Cote, also of Quebec. So Brooklyn McDougall, who came into this race with 3 medals, 2 gold over the weekend in the 500 and 1500, and silver in the 1000, will not medal, it looks, today in the mass start women's event. Unofficially, it seems Alexa Scott of Manitoba, Roseanne Grenier of Quebec, and her teammate Emmanuel Cote, also of Quebec, are gold, silver, and bronze medal winners here in the 4,000 meter mass start event. As we wait for the official results to come in, we'll go silent for a little bit. We'll come back just before the men's race to get you teed up for that one as they line up all 33 skaters involved in that race. We will update you if we find the official results that have come in. Until then, stick around for the men's race at the top of the hour.
Mesdames et messieurs, le départ en groupe masculin commencera à 10 minutes à 14 heures. Ladies and gentlemen, the mass start for men will be starting in 10 minutes at 2 o'clock. Join us outside as we cheer on our men for the last competition for long track speed skating at the Canada Winter Games in Red Deer. Ladies and gentlemen, a competition of this magnitude could not happen without many long hours being put in by a great number of people. Beginning with our sport lead here in front of the stands, Shauna Pierman and her assistant Kathy Drake. Congratulations. As well, all of our Speedskating Canada major officials. Many of the minor officials coming from the Red Deer Central Line Speed Skating Club, our local club here in Red Deer. And of course, all of the many volunteers who signed up, some of whom have been working for a couple of years leading up to these Canada Games. Fantastic job on everyone's part. I think you'd agree these games have been wonderfully done here at the long track venue. Centers place at Great Chief Park, Red Deer, Alberta. And here they come, your men's mass start competitors. Final race of the Canada Winter Games 2019 long track speedskating competition. Very shortly we'll have a special presentation in the athlete announcement, and we'll get underway at 2 p.m. Men's mass start. Ladies and gentlemen, athletes, spectators, volunteers, this race marks the retirement of our starter for the men's division, Mr. Bruce Gray. Bruce has been active in the sport in New Brunswick for over 20 years. He has officiated local, provincial, and national competitions as a starter. Bruce has also been instrumental in officials' development in the Maritime provinces. We'd like to extend a very hearty congratulations and thank you to Mr. Bruce Gray. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Gray's last start.
Well, welcome back to the Oval here at Great Chief Park next to the Red Deer River here in Red Deer, Alberta, the home of the 2019 Canada Winter Games. Once again, Sean Woodley here to bring you all the action now with the men's mass start event. 10 laps, 4,000 meters, a whole bunch of skaters and skates going at once. It's a very chaotic race. It's a very fun race, and there's a lot of potential for chaos, as we just saw in the women's race. In the women's race, Alexa Scott of Manitoba was the winner. She came away with gold. Roseanne Grenier of Quebec came away with the silver, and Emmanuel Cote of Quebec was the bronze medalist. 32 skaters in the field today. There at the very front and right, wearing helmet number 210, is Tyson Langelar. He is the favorite in this event. He is the most decorated skater in Canada Games history among all of these guys here skating today. He has won 3 gold already here at the Canada Games, 1,500, 500, and today in the 1,000. And he is the gold medal winner from the 2015 Canada Games in Prince George, Alberta. We've got a bit of snow coming down now. We've been pretty lucky avoiding the snow on the track so far today. There was always a bit of light snow in the forecast potentially. It's about -4. You can see the snow blowing a little bit there. There's a 15 or so kilometer-an-hour wind going. They're all grabbing their jackets now. And it looks like they're headed towards the start line. Once again, 32 skaters, beginning with Tyson Langelar of Manitoba in the 210 helmet. 204 is Caleb Muller of Alberta, silver medalist today in the 1,000. 223 is Matthew Laxton of Ontario. 228 is William Lemelin Bilodeau of Quebec. 201 is Paul Coder of Alberta. 226 is Cedric Brunet of Quebec. In row 2, you have 202 Max Halleck of Alberta. 203 Josh Hathaway of Alberta. 222 Gibson Imbeau of Ontario. 221 Max Brandt of Ontario. 206 Kieran Hansen of BC. And 207 Jacob Rabuliak of BC as well. Row 3, 227 Antoine Gagnon-Lamarche. 208 Joshua Talizen, the bronze medalist in the 1,000 from BC. 205 Eric Orlowski from BC. 231 Brad Height of Saskatchewan. 229 William Sohier of Quebec. 220 Noah Bauma of Ontario. Row 4, 233 Matthew Scutchings of Saskatchewan. 217 Connor Cameron of Nova Scotia. 232 Dade Minert of Saskatchewan. 211 AJ Seddon of Manitoba. 212 Joel Simpson of Manitoba. And then rounding out row 5 is 219 Luke Sullivan of Nova Scotia. Row 5 is 216 Scott Verschoor of New Brunswick. 213 John Crawford, New Brunswick. 215 Riley Adams, New Brunswick. 214 Remy Martin, New Brunswick. 224 Carter Bruce, PEI. 225 Matthew McKenna, PEI. 230 Marc-Andre Doyon, and 209 Owen Hack in the back. And we are off with the first of 10 laps here in the 4,000 meter mass start event. There will be 2 intermediate sprint laps, laps 4 and 6, on which there are available points that will matter for seeding. The top 3 on the podium will still be the first 3 skaters to cross the finish line after 10 laps, but the points from the intermediate laps will dictate much of the rest of the standings after that. And there we see in front, 210 is Tyson Langelar of Winnipeg, Manitoba, the 3-time gold medalist here in 2019 at the Red Deer Canada Winter Games. He is the favorite in this event. Watch out. Potentially we will see some skaters try to break free from the pack. Una Lavelle of BC had an early sprint in probably lap 3 or 4 of the last race, and she ended up losing steam. And we see a bit of a pack come out to the front here. We see 2 skaters there. One from Alberta, it seems one from Quebec. I think that is 202. Max Halleck in front there, along with 227, Antoine Gagnon-Lamarche. They are well out ahead now. I think a skater from BC in the mix there too. Max Halleck is 19 from Calgary, Alberta. He was 7th in the 1500, 5th in the 800. Could be in the mix here. Gagnon-Lamarche, bronze in the 500 meters. This is a very, very different race than a 500-meter race, but he is out there now. We'll see if he has the stamina. He's also followed there by skater number 208, and that is Joshua Talizen, who won bronze earlier today in the 1,000 meter. Kind of surprisingly, he fell in the first of his 2 skates in the 500 meters, yet had the second fastest 500 time in his second skate. So the results in the 500 don't really tell the story for Talizen. Couple skaters in behind there. Looks like someone from Quebec and BC as well. That looks like 206 Kieran Hansen sitting there in 4th behind this lead pack of 3. Tyson Langelar still hanging back. He is one to watch for sure as the race moves on. And it seems like this group here is taking their time. They were trying to get those sprint points for what I believe was lap 4, one of the intermediate sprint laps. And it seems like the Alberta skater there, 202, Max Halleck, has kind of lost a bit of steam. But he got himself some points for the sprint lap. I believe we're at a lap 5 now. Here we see number 201. That is Paul Coder of Alberta, with a couple of skaters from Quebec tailing him closely. 227 is Antoine Gagnon-Lamarche, still up there with that lead group. He was one of the first to break away from the pack. Max Halleck, the guy he broke away with earlier on, is now fallen back a little bit. 228 there is William Lemelin Bilodeau from Quebec as well. And they are part of this 3-man pack at the beginning. Believe we're coming into a sprint lap now by my count, lap number 6. We're seeing them pick it up a little bit, and we're close enough to the end of the race where any sort of gap will be hard to overcome. So we'll see. We see the Quebec athletes drafting behind. Paul Coder there. Very valuable in these windy conditions as well to kind of cut through that wind resistance with the help of someone in front of you doing the job for you. It's a little extra work, but I'm sure the Quebec athletes appreciate it, and they have now taken the lead, and see Coder is going to take a chance to draft behind them now. They are still in the league, talking to each other. Still that group behind, though. By my count, we're on to lap 7 or 8 right now. Sorry we don't have an exact count here. It's a little bit of an inexact science as we try to keep track of this very chaotic race. 2:28 is William Lemelin Bilodeau still leading the race. Although the pack is closing in. We see there, and there's another pack breaking through. And I believe in that pack is Tyson Langelar. He is the favorite to win this race. He is powering his way ahead of the pack. Followed there. Oh, he's already putting some space between him and the rest of the pack. It's not even close at this point. Here comes Tyson Langelar. Great close-up of him there. Believe we're almost into the bell lap here. We have an Alberta athlete there behind him. Also 2:23 from Ontario. Is Matthew Laxton. He's in this lead group. Here comes Tyson Langelar powering his way. Believe we're on to the final lap now. Tyson Langelar looks like he's about to pick up his 4th gold medal of these Canada Games, unless Matthew Laxton or Caleb Muller can track him down. Laxton seems to be gaining a little bit. The Ontarian coming around the final turn. Can he catch up to Langelar coming into the finish? It's going to be close. Tyson Langelar with an Ontarian and an Albertan right behind him, but he's going to do it. Tyson Langelar has won the gold. It looks like Matthew Laxton, he's really excited. I think he's in 2nd place, but there could be perhaps a pass at the finish line. The angle we're working with there is pretty hard to tell. Matthew Laxton may have just won himself a gold. We'll have to wait for the official results to come in. I believe Caleb Muller was right there as well, as with Joshua Hathaway from Alberta. Those two teammates, Hathaway, made it a goal for himself to win a medal in the 5,000 meters. This is a 4,000 meter event. This is something he excels at. We had the scoreboard there waiting for the official results. But from the way it looked at the end there, Matthew Laxton looked pretty thrilled. Tyson Langelar looked pretty dejected. Not sure if Laxton was able to maybe get his foot across the line first. We'll have to wait. Might be something of a photo finish here. Matthew Laxton is 20 years old from Georgetown, Ontario, coached by Arno Hugeveld. A legendary coach you'll hear in association with a lot of these athletes here. There is Tyson Langelar right there. Still waiting to see the official results here. It would be quite the upset if Tyson Langelar was passed at the end there. Again, he won the gold medal in this event in 2015 in Prince George and had 3 gold medals coming into today. It would also be the first event in which a Manitoban did not win gold. Getting word from the ground right now that there may have been a lap counting mistake on the ground. Not by us here in the studio, but there may have been a lap counting mistake at the venue by the officials. This coming in from our sports information officer, Will Dutton, on the ground. So there seems to be a little bit of controversy here. We'll update you as best we can. Still a shot of Tyson Langelar right there from Winnipeg, Manitoba. 19 years old, coached by Bart Schouten and Todd McClements. Won a gold at the 2015 Canada Winter Games in the mass start, ranked number 1 in the Canadian Junior Championship rankings in 27-18 in both the 1500 and 5000. So he does not discriminate when it comes to distances in long track. We see the Quebec team there huddling up. Not sure they came away with the medal here. It looked like it was an Albertan who snuck in, either Caleb Muller or Josh Hathaway. Couldn't quite glimpse the helmet properly there. But the Quebec team has performed well today. 2 medals in the women's mass start, silver and bronze for Roseanne Grenier and Emmanuel Cote. Nice team photo there for Quebec. Still waiting for official word from the venue. Another shot at Tyson Langelar. If this result stands, Matthew Laxton of Ontario is the gold medal winner. Getting word now. The unofficial result has Matthew Laxton winning the gold medal, Tyson Langelar having the silver. You can see the two of them right there chatting it up. Laxton finished 7th overall on the Canadian senior ranking list at the 5,000 in 27-18. And there we have the unofficial results. Matthew Laxton is your gold medal winner for Ontario. The 2nd gold medal for Ontario at these Canada Winter Games. Tyson Langelar of Manitoba has Manitoba's streak of golds here in long track today broken. He's going home with the silver. And Caleb Muller of Alberta, the silver medalist in the 1,000 earlier today, is going home with the bronze. Unofficial standings, of course, this can still change. There are a lot of intricacies to officiating this race. It's a tad chaotic. It's not quite as simple as 2 skaters going around and going to a set time. But as it stands, Matthew Laxton of Ontario is your gold medal winner. He won the bronze in the 1500, so he's got 2 medals now to his name here in Red Deer at the Canada Winter Games. Tyson Langelar with his 4th medal, 3 gold, 2 silver. Caleb Muller, his 2nd medal. A very impressive showing from all the athletes today. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in to today's action from Great Chief Park here in long track speed skating. Once again, Matthew Laxton gold, Tyson Langelar silver, Caleb Muller with the bronze for Alberta. Please make sure to tune into all of the web streaming action you can handle from the Canada Winter Games in Red Deer at canadagames.live. My name is Sean Woodley. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will talk to you next time.